Hello guys, this is Akshay Daga and welcome back to Epidaga's Dumbbox. So in this video, we will talk about OOPS, that is Object Oriented Programming System. So OOPS concept of Python. So that's what will cover in this video. Till now, I have created multiple videos on Python series. We have covered all basic kind of concept about Python. And till now, whatever kind of programming we have done in our videos, that is nothing but a scripting process. In scripting, what happens? A Python code gets executed from top to bottom, line by line. So that is what we can call as a scripting language. But in Python, OOPS concept is also applicable. That is object-oriented programming language. So what is the need of OOPS, right? So I'll not call object-oriented programming language again and again. We'll call it OOPS for short. So what is the need of OOPS? So if you look into real type, like real environment, your real life, you can relate many of the stuff as some kind of category and a specific object. I'll tell you that. So before going to that, if you want to start your journey with OOPS concept in Python or any other language, so then the basic building block of any OOPS programming language is class and object. So what is class and what is object and how it is related to your real world scenario? I'll talk about that. So basically in your real world, everything is like everything you can put it as some kind of category and then a particular object of that category. For an example, if you talk about cars, so cars is a category, right? So when it comes to programming language, we can call car is a class. Why? Because if you talk about car is a category. There are different type of cars which are available in the market. All car comes into same category because they all follow particular parameters. Like all cars will have some parameters. For example, now there will be some number of wheels, then it will have particular height, particular length, then particular color, then fuel type, then manufacturer name. So all these are parameters. If you assign some particular value to all these parameters, then you will narrow down to a particular car. For example, as I told you, car is a class. It is a category. But if I talk about Tata Nexon or Suzuki Maruti Alto or Fortuner XUV 700, all these are particular cars. So these are objects of class car. Why? Whatever parameters I talked about, height, length, fuel, mileage, manufacturer, if you assign a particular value to all those parameters, you will narrow down to a particular car, maybe Alto, maybe Nexon, maybe Fortuner, like that. So in our real life scenario, whatever we call as a category, so in programming language, we can call it as a class. And if you talk about a particular object in that category, just like Nexon or Alto, so that will be object in our programming language. So if you go by the definition, class is the blueprint and object is the copy of that blueprint with a specific value assigned to each and every parameter. So that is the official definition. If I hope by this example you got the idea about class and object. I'll take one more example. If you talk about flowers, so flowers is a category. So that means in programming language, flowers is a class. It will have some parameters like flower will have particular fragrance type, maybe pleasant, maybe pungent, maybe anything. It will have color, it will have size and many more other parameters as well. So flowers is a category. But if I talk about particular flower like a rose, jasmine, and many other, then these are the objects of class flower. Now you got the idea. There is one more word, that is instance. So another word for object is instance. So from this, you got the idea what is class, what is object or instance in Python programming language or any other programming language. Class and object are the basic building block for any kind of object-oriented programming language. So theoretically, now you understood that. Now I'll share my screen. I'll show you how you can write code. How you can write code in Python for creating a class. Then I'll show you how you can write a code for creating an object using a class. So without wasting time, I'm sharing my screen. This is the Jupyter notebook. And one important thing, whatever I'll show you here as a part of code on my screen, all that codes will be readily available for you. Just go to description box. You will find a link there and you can get all that code readily available on just single click. So let's talk about class. So I'll talk about syntax first. So if you are writing down any class, so we'll go with our example of cars. So I'll write a class. So if you want to write a class, start with the keyword class in small cases, then write the name of the class. So name of the class will be like car. It is the name of the class. Then I can give parentheses and I can provide some value into that, just like function. But we will talk about that in our future videos. That is the next concept. I'll cover each and every concept in my future videos in detail. So for now, the simple syntax is like this. Then if I go there, then I can assign some variable, some parameter to that. So basically, there might be some variables which will be common for all the objects, all the instances of the class. For example, I said there can be a variable saying number of wheels. So for all type of cars, number of vehicles and number of wheels will be 4. So this kind of variables can be written down directly. So I'll say number of wheel. Okay, and I'll assign value 4. So this variable will be common for all the objects of this class by default. We can change that, we can overload that. Overload means we can change that as per the object. We'll see that in later part, but if you have particular variable whose value will be same by default for all the objects, then you can write it down like this. There is another word for that, this kind of variable. I'll just comment it down and I'll write what it is. We can call it as a class variable. Similarly, there is another name for the same, that is static variable. Okay. Then there will be a constructor. We can write it like a constructor is nothing like but a default built-in method or function. So we'll write it as init self, and then I'll write whatever it is. So I'll say I'll write just 3 parameters over here. So the first parameter will be like self dot. Why I'm writing self, I'll show you afterwards, but make sure generally if you write any method or function within a class, by default each and every time you have to provide one variable, that is self. Self is not a keyword. You can give any name instead of self, but logically self makes sense. You will get to know why I write self there. So maybe field type. Okay, then I'll say self dot manufacturer, then self dot instead of manufacturer I'll make it simple, company, right? Then I'll say field type what we can say car type, maybe sedan or hatchback, something like that, and few more parameters. For now I'll take just 3 parameters and I'll assign. These are 3 variables, and this variable belongs to each and every object. So this variable can have different values for each object. These are the parameters I was talking in my example. Okay, so I'll assign some values. So I'll take some temporary variables here. So I'll take the same name. We can take different names here. So company, same names I'm taking. These are the local variables type, and I'm assigning field type, company, and type. Basically, type is a built-in keyword, so we should avoid writing type. You can see it from the color coding. So I'll say car type. Car type. So I am expecting some value like hatchback or sedan. That's what car type is. So basically, instead of field type here, car type, company and car type, I can write any variable there, X, Y, Z, and whatever I'll write over here, the same values, same name I'll write here, here, and here respectively. Okay. And when I talk about object parameters or class parameters, these are whatever I write after self dot, these are the car parameters. I mean object parameters. So this kind of variable we call as what I'll say instance variable or object variable. Okay, because this belongs to each object or each instance we create for this class. Instance variable or object variable. All these three are instance variable or object variable. I'm keeping my pace slow because these are the basic things you should understand. Once that is done, then just like one second, what is this init? Can we change the name of this init? I'll tell you. Whenever you create an object of any class, then by default one method or one function gets called. You don't need to call it explicitly. Like if I write a function test, then if I want to call that function, I have to call it using test by the same name. But I'll never call any function named as init. It will be called automatically whenever I create an object for this class. Okay, we'll show. I'll show that in next step in the same video. So I'll never call this, but the init will be called internally automatically. What if I don't write this init function? That is also fine. If I don't write anything, then there is a by default init function available, which is not visible by default, but there is a blank init function, just like def init self and pass, something like this. So by default one init function is available for each and every class. But if you want to pass some variable, some instant variable into that, assign some value to that, then we have to write it manually. Okay, then just like this number of vehicle, it was a variable which was common for all the objects created for the same class. There can be method which is by default common for all the objects. Okay, and like which is associated to class rather than object. Okay, so this kind of class is known as static class, static function or static method. To write that, you have to use something like this, static method. If you write this, and then if you write any class method name, for example test, so test here is nothing but a static method. So I'll write something like this is static method. Okay, so basically whatever I have written here, like add static method, it is nothing but a built-in decorator. What is decorator and everything we'll cover in future classes, but for now just keep it in mind. It is a built-in decorator and you have to write it as it is before writing any static method. Decorator, and this is nothing but a static method. Okay, or another name for the same is class method. Okay, I'll tell you why it is and how it is. Then I'll write another method def test1, and I haven't written any kind of decorator before this method. That means it is not a static method. It is a normal method which will be associated to each and every object or instance. So how? I'll show you that also afterwards. So this is test1 method. So what we can call it as it is instance method. Okay, I'll write one more thing, def get field type. I just want to get the field type for each object. I'm just writing it down. You will get to know why I'm writing this field type, this kind of method. And one more thing, I made a mistake over here. I told you whenever you write any kind of method in a class, you have to always pass one variable into that. That is nothing but self. It is mandatory. Otherwise, you will get some error. Okay, you don't need to pass that in static method. You will understand why. You will connect all the dots by the end of this video. Okay, I'll write print, or I'll write whether I should write print or return. I'll return here, return self dot field type. I'm just returning this value, right? I'm returning this value. All this self dot whatever I have written, these are the instance variable, and whatever written on the right side, whatever I'm highlighting right now, field type, company, and car type, these are the local variables. Okay, so instance variable are on the left side. Okay, so that is done. So this is the class. I have written all the mandatory things required for creating a class. This is the syntax for class. We are so in any class there can be a class variable or static variable. There will be a constructor. The name for this is constructor. Constructor. Within constructor there will be some instance variable, whatever you want. Then there can be a static method, one or multiple static methods. There can be one or many instance methods. Okay, so it is also instance method. So that's it. I ran it. Now let's check how we can create object for that. Now to create an object, so I'll create one object that is nothing but Nexon. Okay, now while to create an object, I had to give some name to that object, equal to, then I have to write a class name. Then I have to pass some parameters. What will be the name of parameters? 1, 2, and 3. So here we have passed only 3 parameters. That's why we have to pass 3 parameters. If I try to pass nothing, then it will give me an error saying that this class is expecting 3 parameters and I haven't passed any. So the first parameter is fuel type. So fuel type, I'll say it is petrol type. Okay. The second one is company. So company is Tata. The third one is car type. So car type is, I think the next one is hatchback. No, it is SUV. Sorry. Right. So if I run it, you can see now new object is created. So new object is nothing but Nexon. Right. So it is created. Now I want to, now if I want to fetch each one variable value using this object, I can do that. If I write Nexon and put dot and press tab, you will see all these things I can get from this object. The first one will be car type. So car type is SUV. Then Nexon dot company. So company is Tata. Nexon dot fuel type is petrol. These are the 3 instance variable values which we have passed while creating the object. So basically what happened here, whenever I written this syntax and executed this, so basically I'm trying to create an object Nexon of class type car and passing these 3 values. So internally at this line, whenever I was executing this line, internally one function got called that was nothing but a constructor. So while creating an object, constructor gets called automatically, and this is the constructor we have written. So we have to pass these 3 values, and these 3 values were assigned to these 3 local variable, and those 3 local variable were assigned to instance variables respectively. So that's how we created the object. Okay, that's it. Now let's talk about few more things. So whenever I create an object Nexon, there is one more variable that was nothing but a static variable or class variable. So number of wheels, it is 4, and it was assigned here automatically. So default value is 4, right? Now there are some methods which are available. I'll write Nexon dot test1. It was a normal method, instance method. Okay, so it was called and it got executed correctly. This is test1 method. Similarly, Nexon dot test. So I'm trying to call a static method using an object. It is also working. This is a static method test. Then Nexon dot get field type. This is another instance method. It also worked. Now you got the idea that using an object you can access each and every variable, may it be static variable, may it be instance variable. You can access all the methods, may it be instance method, may it be static method. So you can access each and everything. Now let's talk about static variable and static method. What is the beauty? What is the extra feature for that? The extra thing for that was you can access all the class variable or static variable using class name. That's why we call it as a class variable. Similarly, you can access this static method using class name. That's why we call it as a static method as well as class method. How? I'll show you. So name of the class is car. If I write car dot, what I can access? I can access number of wheels, 4, because it is associated with class directly, not with the object. Similarly, if I write car dot, and if I try to get test, don't forget, test is a static method. I got it. If I try to do car dot test1, test1 is a instance method. If I try to do that, it is throwing me error. Why? You can't access instance variable or instance method using class name. Why? Because all those method or all those instance variable are associated with particular instance, not with the class directly. So whenever you try to do test car.test1 or car dot let's say field type. So right now it is not understanding. You are asking for field type of which car or which object. No clear idea. That's why it can't give any value. So it will throw an error for sure. So that is the difference between static variable and static method and instance variable instance method. You got the idea. Now few more things. That is about before going to that, I'll show you. I'll create few more object. Just like I'll just run this code once again. I'll copy this. I'll create one more object, Alto. So Alto car, it is also petrol, then Maruti, then it is hatchback. Hatch. I'll just write TCH. I'll create one more Tigor, right? So it will be a car. I'll write it as a CNG. Now it is available. Tata, and I'll sedan, right? So I'll create 3 objects. Okay. So if I do one thing, what I'll write Nexon dot number of wheels. Instead of that, I'll print all things together. I'll write Alto dot number of wheels, and I'll write Tigor dot number of wheels. And if I run that, you will see the value for all is 4. But even for static variable, if I want to assign a different value, by the default value is same, right? But if for a particular object, if I want to assign some another value, so let's say I'll change the value to Nexon dot number of wheels equal to 5 for some reason. If I change it, okay, and then if I try to print it, you will see for Nexon dot number of wheels the value is 5, and for the remaining things the value is 4, right? So you can change the value for the static variable, that is fine. And I'll try to do one more thing. If I change it to, so value can be changed. I'll write one more thing to check whether really value changed or gets changed or not. I'll just copy this. I'll run this code once again. I'll make some modification. Okay. I'll write def get number of wheel. I'll pass value self dot. I'm little bit doubtful whether this value really got changed or a new variable, temporary variable got created. Why I'm saying that, you will understand. Return number of wheels. Here should we write self dot or not? I'm a little bit doubtful. Let's check. So after writing this, if I create these three objects once again, let's see what happens. If I do Nexon dot get number of wheels, it is 4. If I try to change Nexon dot number of wheels equal to 5, I try to change the value and I try to get the Nexon dot get using get function. I'm just getting the value. It is 5. So basically it is changing it. So whatever I told you here, you can change the value for a particular instance for a static variable, but the default value will be this, whatever you assign over here. So you got the idea how static variable works. Okay. Now, one second. Now there is one more. One second. I got some message. Yeah, I have shown you that how you can change the value of a static variable for a particular object, right? Now there is one beauty in that. I'll show you that. So what was our print statement? Yeah, this was it. So you know, for Nexon the value is 5, and for the remaining two car, that is Alto and Tigor, the value is default value, that is 4. And I had told you that you can change the you can access the static variable using class name. So now what I'll do, I'll write car dot number of wheels. So it is a static variable access using class name. If I try to change it to 7, okay. So let's see what happens. I'll print all those values once again. If I do that, you can see the value for Nexon remain as it is, but the value for Alto and Tigor change. What does that mean? So whatever default value was assigned to each and every instance for that given static variable, right? The default value, if you try to change that value using a class dot static variable, then the default value will be changed for all the instances, excluding if for a particular instance you try to change the value manually using object dot variable name, that is static variable name. If you change that, just like we did it here for Nexon, like object name dot static variable equal to some value, I try to override the earlier like default value. I change the value here. So excluding those instances, for all other instances where default value was not changed earlier, will be changed using this class dot instance variable name equal to 7. Similarly, I'll show it once again. Now what I'll do, I'll say Alto dot number of wheels equal to, I'll make it to 6. Okay. Now I'll print it once again. So the output should be 567, right? And it is 567. Now what I'll do, I'll write car dot number of wheels equal to, I'll say 9. So logically, whatever logic I told you till now, logically the default value should be changed for that all those instances where the value was not changed for particular instance, right? So in this case for Tigor, we never changed the value earlier. So Tigor is having default value. So if I do this and then if I try to print it, I should get value as a 569, because only for Tigor the value will be changed because Tigor was having a default value 569. And if I change the value for Tigor manually using object dot number of wheels, let's say if I change it to 3, okay, and if I print that, okay, so 563, that was expected. And if I change car dot number of wheels to 10, okay, so I executed this, but right now we know in our code there is no instance available for which the number of wheels, that is static variable value, is still default. For all three variables we have set it manually using object dot instance object dot static variable name. So even if I had done this, it should not change any of the value. If I run the print statement once again, the value should remain as it is, as 5, 6 and 3, and it is 5, 6, 3. So that was the beauty. Like that was a new part. Generally people don't cover that. Now the last thing I'll cover in this video is, let's see, if I want, if I create a variable, normal variable I equal to 3, okay, and if I print I'll get the value 3. But similarly, if I try to do print Nexon, I won't get any value, right? So by default, I'll get some value, hexadecimal value like this. But there is a built-in function similar to init. So I'll just copy this class creation, and I'll write one more function here. I'll write it here. Similar to init, underscore init, there is one more function that is underscore str. And here also we have to write self, because it is not a static method. By default, we have to write self. And I'll write, should I write return? I think I should write return. Okay, return. I'll write self dot, and I'll pass, I'll write self dot field type, self dot company. I'll write self dot, I'm not sure whether I should write return or print, but I'm writing return for sure. Self dot car type. Okay, I'm writing it like this. Let's see. So what happens whenever I pass a object name within a print function, then this method gets called underscore str underscore. It is a built-in method, and whatever I written over here, that will be printed using print statement. So it is a built-in function. If you write it, then whatever you write over here will be printed using a print function for object. Otherwise, nothing will be printed, as we have seen earlier. So I'm just running this. I'll create the object once again, the fresh objects. So okay, and I'll try to do print dot Nexon. There is still error because return a tuple. So what I'll do, I'll not do it like this. I'll say str of I'm not sure how I should do that. Yeah, I can do something like this once again. How I should do that? Yeah, I can do something like this, concatenation. Yes, but there is, right now there is no space or nothing. I'll make some changes. Nothing, I'm just creating a string over here. You know how to create a string. Okay, so that's it. I have created a string. I have created objects. I'm trying to print Nexon. So this is how, whenever you try to pass an object in print statement, whatever you write, whatever logic you write in this underscore str, that will be written. Okay, so that is how you can do that. You can separate it by comma also, no issue. So I tried to pass Nexon, that's why it gave me all the values for Nexon. If I change the sequence of variables in this function, that will be changed. Whatever syntax you find suitable, you can write it down, write down here, and that will be printed over here. If I do print dot alto, I'll get all the values associated with alto. If I do print, if I do print Tigor, I'll get all the values for Tigor, right? Apart from that, if I write some more variable like number of, whenever I write a self dot, so it will give self. Oh, okay. Why we are writing self? That is, you can only concatενate str to str. Okay, I didn't try to. if I try to do it as a str, it worked. Okay, since it was number, so plus operation was not working, nothing else. Okay, let's the last and important topic, why self. Okay, so you know, if I exclude the static method, you can see for each and every method I have written the first parameter as self. When you look here, you can see 4 variables, but generally whenever I create an object, I am passing only 3 variables, 3 values. Okay, then what is this self? Self is nothing but a pointer to the current instance. Okay, for an example, you can see if I take object Nexon, and if I try to call any function get field type, it is a function, it is not a static one, it is a normal method function, normal method. And if I do that, so basically what is happening, just like our normal method, I am calling this method, and this method is associated to the object, which right now, which object here, to the object Nexon. So pointer to this Nexon is passed by default, and that will be stored in the first parameter, and the first parameter is self. So that's why what happened. So in this function get field type, there is one parameter that is self, and whatever is the pointer to that Nexon object was passed to this self. And here in return statement, what I have written self dot field type, right? So self have pointer to the instance, pointer to the object Nexon, and within that, for that particular object, particular instance Nexon, what is the field type, right? So it got the value from self dot field type, right? If you still don't understand that, there is one thing. I'll get the same value using another method. That is nothing but if I write class name, that is car dot get field type, okay, and then pass a object name here Nexon. Let's see what happens. I got the same value. So in this case, the method get field type, which was written within a function car, I tried to call that, and I have passed an object into that, so that our self variable named as self will get pointer to that object. If I don't pass this value, if I try to call it as it is without passing any object, it won't work. If it is a static method, then it will work, because static method doesn't require any kind of pointer to particular instance, because it is common for all the instances. It is related to class directly. But if you talk about normal method within any class, then the first parameter is always self. It can be any word, but self makes sense. Okay, it is not a fixed keyword. So that was the reason in each class, in any class, if you write any method, the first parameter will be self, that will store the pointer to that instance, and the remaining parameter can be used to assign value to instance variables, right? Here also, if you look here also, while creating an object, so you only pass these 3 values. So these 3 values were assigned to those 3 local variable, that is field type, company, and car type. And when this new object is created, the pointer to that will be given to that first parameter self over here. Okay, now you got the idea why I have written self. You got the idea about static method, static variable, normal method, instance variable, all those things. Those pay a special attention to this video. This is very, very important video. If all these ideas are very clear to you, then all the concepts related to OOPS and class and objects, which I'll cover in my future videos, will be very easy for you to understand. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. All this code I have written, you can see on the screen, will be available for you in the description section. Just go and click on the link there. That's it, guys. If you got some idea from this video, please do anything you can do, anything and everything you can do to encourage me. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do everything. This is Akshay Daga signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.